Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Chad from Chad DIY, and today I'm going to take you step by step on how to start making money with your laser cutter. So let's get started. The laser I'm going to be using today is the xTool D1 Pro 20 watt laser. The reason why, the quality for the price point and the power of the 20 watt laser I feel like is just a perfect combination, as well as the simplicity of the xTool Create software. It's so easy to get started and start making money right away. All right, the product we're going to be focusing on today are ornaments. And these aren't just any ornaments, these are teacher ornaments, which is a perfect combination because you can sell them at Christmas time, but you can also sell them all year round because a lot of times teachers will use these just as kind of name tags or on their desk or whatever. It doesn't just have to be a seasonal Christmas item. All right, the ornament we're going to make today is this 2-layer apple ornament, red on the bottom, just natural wood on the top. We'll use the name Miss Johnson. So let's head over to the software side of things to design this up. All right, so I'm going to open up the xTool Creative Space software and import my file. This file I got it from Etsy, and then I just kind of customized it for my own purposes. I'm going to start making the name Mrs. Johnson. I'll start with the Mrs. I'm going to put that at 9 degrees. I'll use that Atma. I think that's how you pronounce it. Kind of a fun, kind of more of a kids type font. Just going to resize it here. Then I'll start typing out the Johnson part. Once again, I'll have to change the font to Atma. Then kind of resizes as well. xTool, the software does a great job of kind of snapping it in place where you want it to be, kind of finding the center ground there. So I'm just kind of lining everything up, resizing it here until I'm satisfied with that. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Now I can select to cut. I'm just going 100% for power. Go about 8 for the speed, and then group everything together so I'll get cut. All right, now that we have everything loaded up in the software, ready to cut, a couple tips for you. First, this ornament at the back is going to be red, so instead of cutting it out and then painting it red, we'll paint the board first. This makes it way easier than trying to do it after the fact, and it's going to save you a lot of time. Second tip for the top layer is it's going to stick to the bottom layer, so what did I do? I have 3M, if you can see it, 3M backing board already placed on there. This avoids any glue up afterwards. You can just peel the double-sided tape off and stick it to the bottom layer and you're ready to go. All right, now we have our two pieces all cut and they turned out terrific. Now all we have to do is attach the top piece to the bottom piece, which is super easy to do because we do have that double stick tape already installed. Now, a name like Johnson, as you can see, the center of the O's are missing, so you want to make sure when you cut things out, you keep the little center of the O's to include those as well. So let's put these pieces together. All right, now that we have the ornament finished, the first thing we're going to want to do is figure out exactly how much this thing costs to make. Now with this ornament, I figured it cost me right around $1 to make. I'm factoring the wood, both layers, I'm factoring in the double-sided tape that I used, as well as the paint and the twine. Now, it might cost us a touch more. It's hard sometimes to get exactly specific, but I try to get probably within 25 cents of knowing what each item is going to cost to make, so I know what kind of profit margin I'll have. All right, so if this cost me $1 to make, it sounds great, right? I could sell it maybe for $15, a personalized ornament. That's not crazy at all. And you make $14. Well, it's not quite that simple, because if I was just making this for someone I knew, and I'm charging them $15 and they're giving me $15 and it cost me $1 to make, that's great. But oftentimes, something personalized, you could be dealing with selling online, like an Etsy store. Now, selling on Etsy can be great. There's a huge market for that, especially personalized laser cut stuff. That's where a lot of people first start out, as Etsy. But you usually have to include free shipping. Now, free shipping, of course, is not free. It's going to cost you money to ship the item. Now, the cost of shipping does not just include what you're paying for postage. You also have to factor in if you're using boxes, if you're using mailers, tape, ink, printers, paper, all that stuff has to kind of be included in that cost. So say it costs you $3 to actually mail this, you could be into it probably closer to $5 when it's all said and done. So you take that $5, then you add the $1 for this item, and you're already up to $6 of what it costs you to send out this item. So using that $6 figure for selling on Etsy, that kind of gives you a good idea of what you're going to probably want to sell that item for. And that doesn't include Etsy fees as well. So an item like this, you're probably going to really want to be in the $15 range or even higher. Now, might seem expensive, it might seem reasonable, but for a personalized item, it is fairly reasonable. I think people are willing to pay that dollar amount, and maybe even going up to $18, the $20 mark for a customized ornament isn't out of the question. Now, Etsy is a very popular site, especially starting off, to sell items like this, but there are really a ton of other ways you could sell this product. Just even going on Facebook, kind of advertising it out. A teacher item like this you could contact the PTA at schools, or especially around Christmas time, the PTAs love to give teachers gifts. So there could be 40 teachers at a school. Just getting one school, you could get 40 teachers that maybe sell them $10 a piece. That could be a $400 order. You really need to think outside the box, and especially with shipping one item at a time, the more items you can ship at a time, say if you could ship 40 of these out and kind of batch them out like that to one school, and you get 2 schools and 3 schools around Christmas time, that can really be helpful. All right, now that we kind of have some of the pricing figured out for this item, we also have to think about how much time this thing takes to make you. And now, obviously, the goal to make items like this and sell them is to make money, and that all takes time. So what I like to do is factor in how much touch time, is what I call it, how much touch time each item takes to make. Now, smaller items like this, most of the time is touch time. You're actually touching the item, you're working with it, you're doing something in the process. It's only I think this file took about 9 minutes between the two things to cut that out, that would not really be called touch time because I'm not doing anything. The laser cutter's doing everything. I'm able to kind of work about in my shop. Now, figuring out how much time an item like this takes to make is going to factor in how much you want to sell this for. Now, if an item takes you a really long time to make, that doesn't mean you can sell it for a lot of money. So you have to be realistic with how long is this going to take me to make compared to what is a realistic expectation of how much I can get paid for it. Me personally, I think this is a great reason why ornaments are such a great first item to start making and selling, is because they're pretty simple to make, they don't take a lot of time, and they sell fairly easily. Now, that being said, the profit margins are not going to be as high as a bigger item. Usually the bigger item, they take more time, but the profit margins are even going to be greater. Now, each item is going to be a little different with how much time it takes to make. Now, most of the time for this is going to be just doing the customized name. So each teacher is going to have a different name. So you're going to have to spend probably a couple of minutes in the file, maybe even less than that. It goes really fast, just adding the name. But besides that, there's not a lot of customization done with an ornament like this. All right, so hopefully this video kind of gave you some ideas about maybe what kind of products you might want to sell. Now this, I think, is a good example of items that you can do with this xTool D1 Pro. Now, really the possibilities are limitless. Like, this can do so many projects, but this is kind of just one item I thought I'd throw out there. Now, if you're interested in buying your own xTool, I really can't recommend them enough. I've used both the 10 watt and the 20 watt. The 20 watt I think is well worth it. It's kind of that perfect sweet spot for power. They do have a 40 watt as well if you really want to get in the higher speeds and cutting depths, but the 20 watt to me, just starting out, is the sweet spot. So I'll provide that link below. It's an affiliate link. If you do decide to buy an xTool, I really appreciate you using an affiliate link. It doesn't cost you any more money. It just really helps the channel out quite a bit, so I appreciate that. And also, if you're interested in any materials, xTool sells all the materials you'll need to cut. I just got some new black acrylic. Really excited to try that out, as well as the basswood that I used. But they have a whole array of different materials to use as well. And all right, if you do have any questions on this project today on making money with an xTool, please leave them in that comment section below. And as always, we'll see you on the next one.